equals m and x minus x1. So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Some of you might say, all right, so 1 and 5 go into y1, x1, 4 and negative 1 go into y and x. No. The reason we're given 2 points is just so we can find the slope. So we use these two ordered pairs to find the slope. So again, our slope formula, negative 1 minus 5 and 4 minus 1. So that's negative 6 over 3, which is negative 2. So we have m equals negative 2. So I'm going to put negative 2 in here. X, I'm going to keep the same. And I'm going to keep y the same. And I only need to plug one of these points in. I can pick either or, it doesn't matter. However, I think positive 1 and positive 5 are going to be easier, so I don't have to mess with the double negative. So let's plug positive 1 and positive 5 in. So it's going to be y minus 5 equals negative 2 minus, or negative 2 parentheses x minus 1. Close. Point slope form means we keep the negative 5 over here, the minus 5 here.
Please excuse this interruption. 8th graders, last name A through I, report to the auditorium lobby at this time. Thank you.
Distributing negative 2 gives us this. So this is your answer in point slope form. I know instinctively I want to add the 5, but no, you're not supposed to do that. Okay, here find the slope of 4x plus 3y equals 7. And okay, so in this, we're not given points, so how do we find the slope? Well, remember, we just talked about y, or we haven't just talked about it, but you've learned this forever, y equals mx plus b, that slope-intercept form. This gives us our slope, this gives us our y-intercept. So we can easily solve this equation for y. Do you realize now why last chapter we had to solve equations for variables? Solve this equation for y, get y by itself, and then we'll be able to identify our slope, our m. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So I'll have 3y equals 7 minus 4x. You can leave it in this form. I hate looking at it that way. I need to move it because I need my x term to be first, just like it is in this formula. Okay, now some of you might think we're done. We're not yet. This is 3y. I need y by itself. So we divide everything by 3. So we get y equals negative 4/3 x. Do not round it. Remember, because if we divide, it's going to be negative 1 and 1/3, negative 1.3 repeating. Keep it negative 4/3. Plus 7/3. I'm also going to keep that as 7/3. So what is our slope? M equals negative 4/3. A couple things, I put this in the notes, but I wanted to reiterate it here. A couple things to remember about lines or slopes. When we have a horizontal line, it's an equation like y equals a number, whatever number it equals, it's a horizontal line through that. And this is no slope. And when we have a vertical line, that's when we have x equals a number, and this is undefined slope. And then here, when we have parallel lines, as you can see, parallel lines have the same slope. So their slopes equal one another. The y-intercepts are different. Perpendicular lines, perpendicular, create the 90 degrees. It's a little bit harder to see here, but our slopes are opposite and reciprocal for perpendicular lines. Okay, just a few things to remember. And we need that perpendicular information for example 7. It says write an equation of the line through each point 0, 4, 6, 1 and perpendicular to y equals 3/4 x plus 2. Graph all 3 lines on the same grid. Okay, so with this, write an equation of a line through each point. So we're going to have to, I know what they have to be perpendicular to this, so I know it's going to be negative 4/3. My slope for these 2 lines is going to be negative 4/3. okay? Because that is the opposite and reciprocal there. Now to figure out what the equation for each of these lines is going to be, you just plug in the x and y into our slope-intercept formula and solve for b. So I'm going to have 4 equals negative 4/3 x, which is 0, plus b, and solve. That cancels, I get 4 equals b. So my equation is going to be y equals negative 4/3 x plus 4. Okay, and then this point, same thing. I know my slope has to be opposite reciprocal, so it's going to be 1 equals negative 4/3 times 6 plus b, and let's solve. Negative 4/3 times 6 is negative 24/3, which is negative 8. So I have negative 8 plus b, add 8, so I get 9 equals b. So this equation is y equals negative 4/3 x plus 9. So hopefully you remember how to graph something in slope-intercept form. If not, this will be a great reminder, great review for you. You always graph your y-intercept first. Alright, so in this one, I'm going to go up 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm going to do this in red. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to use my slope, which is negative 4/3, which means rise over run. I'm going to go down 4 and then to the right 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I only need 2 points to graph a line. So there's my y equals negative 4/3 x plus 4. Okay, I'm going to graph this one in green, y equals negative 4/3 x plus 9. Now we should see these lines have the exact same slope and a different y-intercept, so they should be parallel. If they're not, I'm assuming we did something wrong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so there's my 9. And then I'm going to go down 4 and to the right 3. There, I only need 2 points. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I would say those look pretty parallel, or close enough to being parallel. And then the last one we have to do is graph the perpendicular one that they gave us. So it should form a 90-degree angle with both of those lines. 3/4 x plus 2, I'm going to do that one in blue. Okay, so that means I'm going to go up 2, and then slope of 3/4 means I go up 3 and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can graph it. I know it's kind of hard to see, but these should be right angles. Hopefully that was good enough review for you and how to graph those. And if you have any questions, I know it's a lot of material. Should all be review material though, so if you have any questions, make sure you bring it in.